So we will go ahead and so hello everyone. We sincerely hope that you are well. Thank you for joining us today. And special thank you to San Jose State University School of Information, University School of Information for providing this platform to discuss AI in libraries. Our, our presentation is titled At the Helm of Innovation, Librarians at the Forefront of AI Engagement and Integration. And my name is Jamillah Scott Branch, and I currently serve as the Acting Director of Library Services at Georgetown University's International Campus located in Qatar. With me today are two of my innovative and knowledgeable colleagues, Paschalia Terzi. She is our Instructional Services Librarian. And we also have Robert Laws, who is our Data, Media, and Web Librarian. And we will all be presenting today. And I will start us off. And at the helm of innovation is an accurate description, at least we think so, to describe our proactive approach to campus-wide AI engagement. Our team early on was very open to learning the advantages and disadvantages of utilizing AI tools for campus-wide engagement. And Robert, can you advance the slides, please? The four areas that I'm going to focus on are the staff development, experimenting with AI, faculty outreach, and incorporating AI into our everyday work. So from an administrative perspective, my role specifically with staff development was to ensure that our staff had the resources, the time, and also availability to participate in upskilling and learning about AI tools. So early on, I intentionally sought workshops, special sessions, collaborating with our colleagues to ensure that we were upskilled, we knew what was out there, and more importantly, we knew how to effectively integrate this into our work. So early on, one of the workshops that we as a team completed was the ALA's AI literacy using ChatGPT and artificial intelligence in instruction, which was very helpful to us. I requested and received a ChatGPT account for our librarians, so it could be a sandbox of sorts, so they can use it, explore it, use the multimodal features. And so we are able to work with our faculty and our students on how this technology works, its advantages and disadvantages. Also, we invested in Skill Type. And of course, Skill Type is a talent management and development platform. And one of the features it had, it linked to our LinkedIn Learning. So once we created our accounts, what it did was it provided suggestions as to workshops that we can attend specifically around AI. So those are some of the things that we've used to upskill to ensure that we were ready and able to provide campus-wide AI services. In addition to staff development, experimenting with AI tools. This is something that was very much helpful early on in our innovative process. What we did in Education City, our Georgetown, as well as our colleagues at Qatar National Library, as well as Texas A&M, Virginia Commonwealth, we all got together and we had sharing sessions where we demonstrated various AI tools and talked to each other about how the tools, how to utilize the tools, and also the pitfalls in terms of mistakes that we found in utilizing the tools. In terms of faculty outreach early on, Paschalia, myself, and Robert, we started to reach out to faculty to find out their plans for integrating AI tools. And we did run into a roadblock because we did run into faculty who decided not to integrate it as of yet because they were still exploring themselves. And so one of the things that we found out is they were eliminating the research paper in many of the courses that integrated libraries and our information literacy services. So what we did to be more innovative is we created a slew of new workshops to complement and supplement those information literacy sessions that were canceled because of the elimination of the research paper. And so incorporating AI into our daily work, we started utilizing the ChatGPT, Claude, and many other tools for brainstorming. We started utilizing these tools creatively in our marketing. Robert, can you go to the next slide? This is an example of us utilizing the tools creatively to market our resources. And this is an example of how we use AI tools to develop a workshop series to use AI tools creatively for those faculty members who did not want to use AI specifically now in their courses. So I'm going to turn it over to Paschalia to talk about AI and the pre-research process.
Hi everyone, I'm sorry you cannot see me. I have some problems with my camera. By the summer of 2023, last summer, we had already some instructions from the major citation styles on how to cite AI tools. So up to then, as Jamillah mentioned, we had a lot of pushback from faculty not to use AI in class and everything. But because referencing is, let's say, is like attribution and academic integrity practice, a good practice, let's say, we thought that maybe starting out from how to cite an AI tool, how to put attribute would be a good start and something that would kind of bode well with the faculty. So we partnered with the Writing Center and we created a cheat sheet, let's say, for how to cite AI content and the tools in the three major styles, APA, MLA, and Chicago, which are the ones that we usually teach here in Georgetown in Qatar. We usually suggest to our students to use Zotero as a citation tool. So in that cheat sheet, we also incorporated instructions on how to combine the instructions from the citation styles with Zotero. Some problems came up because when we reached out to the forum, the community of Zotero, on how to which item type to use for AI content. They suggested software, but then the exported citation does not follow the directions from Chicago, for example, and MLA. So with the Writing Center, we had to come up with some workarounds. Overall, this was a very good exercise for us to learn more about how to use AI, let's say, ethically in research work, and maybe think a little bit about what the future kind of will bring about AI and attribution. Can you go to the next slide, Robert? As I mentioned already, we had a lot of pushback from the faculty. They mentioned, for example, in their syllabi that students are not allowed to use AI tools in any part of the research process. From my personal conversations with them, I kind of understood that it was more because they were not familiar about how you can use AI without cheating, let's say. But by fall, let's say, we already had some publications from librarians. For example, we had the publication about the clear framework that kind of gave more direction to us librarians on how to use AI tools in a better way, let's say, more efficiently. So in one of the workshops that we did with Jamillah and another colleague from the university, we focused on what kind of roles tools, AI tools can play that could still fit into the research process and still be ethical. For example, one of the UNESCO publications listed the roles that a student can use AI, for example, as a brainstorming tool, a study buddy, etc. So by combining the clear framework and the logic of brainstorming, we could give the students and even staff and faculty who attended our workshop a kind of a way to use AI without violating academic integrity. We also focus as a library in tools that do not generate text, non-generative AI. For example, Research Rabbit is a tool like this that kind of can help faculty understand that you can use AI tools without generating text and cheating, let's say. It's just a tool for mapping literature. It's like a better Google Scholar, basically. Robert, can you go to the other slide? So from fall onwards, I started incorporating AI tools that are free and as possible keep some privacy, let's say, of the students' data in my lesson plans and some workshops that follow the next semester. So I am highlighting free because as librarians, we are all aware of the digital divide and everything. Copilot is a tool like this, which actually uses ChatGPT-4 technology, but it's free through Microsoft Edge browser. So I incorporated that in my lesson plans, and I tried to, again, to persuade the faculty that using an AI tool for brainstorming, it's actually very similar, like using a database like Credo, which gives, which kind of maps out concepts, let's say, and their relationships. So AI can basically do the same. Like Copilot, with the right prompt engineering, it can do the same as the feature of concept mapping in Credo. So people, faculty and students can have a parallel, a new tool with an older tool, so they can understand how to use it properly. Can you go to the next slide, Robert? This is our futuristic poster for the series of workshops we had this semester. And now that we are a little bit more familiar with AI tools, the replications, and how to use them ethically, it was a series of 3 workshops. The first one was a more advanced, let's say, prompt engineering and how to use it to brainstorm keywords and concepts to better search library catalog and databases. The second one was about a hands-on workshop basically with Zotero on how to use Zotero and the Grammarly add-on to cite AI content properly. And the third one, we invited students to actually share with us how they use AI tools or how they think that AI tools can be used ethically. Can you go to the next slide, Robert? So out of these 3 workshops, the second one, citing AI, was the best attended. So, so we can see that there is a great interest on how to use AI tools within academic integrity values. So there is an interest in attribution. And this just can give us, as librarians, some ideas on how to teach maybe AI through the frame of information has value, so how to cite it correctly. But I think also through the frame of information creation as a process, because AI content and text is basically combining, let's say, materials that it already has found on various sources from the web. So you could imagine it as a new publication, let's say, platform. Okay, although this could be a stretch. Can you go to the next slide, Robert? And finally, I will wrap up with this table that I presented in a staff-oriented presentation about AI. But I think it can also help us think about how the various AI tools can kind of fit in the things that instructional librarians teach the students about research skills. So in the stage of brainstorming, someone can use tools about how to organize their tasks or how to define some topics or some terms. In the literature review stage, someone can use tools like a research rabbit for mapping out the literature. In the evaluation stage, someone needs to evaluate, for example, if you're using something like ChatGPT to suggest literature to you. Students need to learn how to follow links to verify the sources that ChatGPT is suggesting to them. But also some of AI tools, they also have evaluation features themselves, like Consensus has an evaluation of what are the best journals that the sources that it is suggesting are coming from. So you can filter with the upper quarter of most cited journals, for example, and things like that. And finally, as I already spoke about citing, we can use the Grammarly add-on, which is Grammarly is itself an AI tool, the Grammarly add-on with ChatGPT to cite content created by ChatGPT, but also combine it with other tools like for referencing, like Zotero, etc. So I think I'm done.
All right. Thank you very much, Paschalia and Jamillah. Basically, summarizing a little bit what we've talked about, Jamillah focused on how we're using staff development to upgrade our skills in AI and really develop that and reaching out to faculty. Paschalia talked about the traditional role of librarians and how AI is now part of that process in many ways. And what I want to talk about is the ways that we as a library have actually taken a leadership role on our campus in many ways towards the discovery, experimentation, and teaching of AI to our campus community. So in spring of 2023, prior to the fall of 2023, that's when AI kind of arrived. Everyone was kind of caught off guard in a way and had to adjust quickly to this new reality. The library, myself and my colleagues took this as an opportunity to really dive into this area of intellectual curiosity and application for research and other creative endeavors, and decided to not wait for our campus to decide who should be, speaking about AI. We decided we were going to be proactive and really, try to be a leader in this area on our campus. So, like Jamillah said earlier, we had the fall 2023 workshop series. So obviously we can do a lot with traditional services, like Paschalia said, in librarianship. But we've decided to go beyond that and actually develop an AI literacy approach as well. And that includes things like prompt engineering, approaching generative AI in images, music, video, and then even helping out our career services department, show them how AI could be useful for students looking for jobs or applying to graduate school. And we've also been creative. So this is one example of our creativity. We did a display in our library where we took existing books, existing titles, and we tried to recreate the book covers using an AI tool. In this case, we used Leonardo.ai. And this was a while ago. It's actually improved greatly since our experimentation at this point in time. But we were still impressed with the results, and our community was really interested to see how AI could regenerate these book covers. So that was one really, really fun experimentation we did with AI image generation. And in teaching AI, we've done a lot with prompt engineering, as Jamillah and Paschalia have already said. But we've also approached prompt engineering in a more broader sense as well, in terms of just teaching the technology in general. And what you see here on the screen is actually from GPT-4, and it's DALL-E 3, the image generation feature of the latest version. But it still requires prompt engineering to actually produce a nice bird character. You have to be able to interact with the AI tool and write your prompt correctly to get the desired output. So we teach those skills, and we're showing our students, faculty and staff, techniques to do this. We also have been experimenting with other ways that we can use AI to supplement the research process. Again, like Paschalia and Jamillah said, we've been doing a lot just with research and AI generally. But one thing I've been playing with is using GPT-4's the vision feature, which now Claude has as well with Claude 3, where you can upload just a regular image. So what you see on the left is actually just an image file of a handwritten letter from 1945. And what GPT-4 and Claude 3 can do is actually do character recognition and output the actual text from the letter. So we have faculty who assigned primary source research, and sometimes the students have trouble reading handwritten letters like this. So GPT-4 and Claude 3 give them a way to dive into this content, and maybe it was difficult for them before. And this semester, so we have not sat on our laurels, so to speak, for the spring 2024. We've been involved in several things, including campus conversations about AI, where both Paschalia and Jamillah spoke, as well as our head of IT, admissions officer, and finance leader in our finance team. And we actually organized the campus conversation. We also were very much involved in an AI faculty retreat, where we met with our faculty colleagues and discussed how AI was impacting their course in teaching and learning approaches. We've also increased course support for AI just generally, and again, this is what Jamillah and Paschalia were saying. They're going into the classroom and doing information literacy with AI incorporated. And then finally, I've been involved in a pilot course about the learning process and AI. So it's a credit-bearing course where we teach students how AI is going to impact the way they learn, and how it can enhance their learning as well, and also the pitfalls that may come with AIs in terms of privacy concerns, like Paschalia said, and the ethical issues that are still a big thing we need to deal with. And that ends my part. We're ready for Q&A. All right.
Someone asked if we can share the cheat sheets. Yes, we can.
There is a
Thanks.
question in the Q&A from Susan asking, what has the reception been like from faculty and students?
Well, it depends on the faculty. Remember, students are quite excited about AI tools and want to use them as much as possible. And that what has been happening as of late, they have been asking, will the library be investing in more tools so they can utilize? Because of course we do have students who very well can afford to use and purchase whatever they want, but we also have those students who want to explore and experiment. In terms of faculty, I think it depends on the faculty member and the discipline. Some of them are more eager. Like this week specifically, I did a course with our economics faculty member who wanted to use AI specifically and have his students to use tools like Research Rabbit for finding resources for their literature review. And that was the first because we hadn't had a lot of interaction with that particular department and utilizing AI. So gradually, more and more this semester, there has been an uptick of people asking about specific assignments utilizing AI.
Can I also say something? Because I interact with, I liaise with faculty that are like more traditional, let's say like historians and political scientists that do research papers. And yes, they replaced the research papers with in-class testing, basically, a lot of times. Despite that, faculty still asked me to go to class to show them at least the databases, which means they understand that at some point students will need to use the databases. So the other thing is, so they said in the syllabus, don't use AI, but when I talk to them, if I come to the class, can I show them how they can brainstorm just to generate keywords, for example? And I brought this example of Credo and how then they said, yes, okay, let's do it in the class. So if you also find this pushback, let's say, from the faculty, maybe you can just tell them that some features of AI, some things that it can do, is actually very similar and a better version of what some database or some other library tool did earlier. Present it like this, not as a threat, but as something that they are already familiar with. I know, I hope this helped.
And also, we also help with alternative assignments as well. So I know Robert implemented podcasting as an alternative assignment. I had a faculty member who I showed how to utilize Flip because she didn't want to use the traditional writing board and Canvas. So we use video boards instead to have conversations. So we also have been helping with alternative assignments as well.
And Courtney asked a question about the faculty-focused teaching and learning office on our campus. We don't have a really defined teaching and learning office. We have a few people who play some roles, including us. So that's something that maybe needs to be resolved at some point. But I guess the way the library became a leadership is that there was a void, and we were proactive to fill that void in terms of speaking out about AI on our campus. So we saw the opportunity and stepped up and decided to provide some leadership here. But we also work with other units on our campus, so it's been very collaborative. We've just been, more vocal in some ways, but we also have been collaborative.
There's a question, how do you move resistant staff into using AI? Do you want to take that one, Robert?
Sure. Yeah, just the short of it is the way I've found is showing them, like demoing it for them, showing them what it can do. I think it's kind of cool. I like these tools. Like I use Midjourney to make images. you know, just out of a prompt. And once they see this, I think, you know, it starts to open their minds a bit. And that is a slow process, though. You have to have conversations, and it doesn't happen overnight. But you know, showing them, demonstrating the technologies to them, and then showing them maybe how it can have a practical and beneficial impact on their work and make their work more efficient in some ways. I use it personally to transform tables of text into HTML code, which can be tedious. So, I mean, that's one quick way it's helped improve me, my work. So I show that to the staff, and they see some benefits. I think we're about at time as well, right?